Alright Knicks fans, buckle in because we just got major insight into the Knicks' real trade deadline plan and it's probably not what you think. According to Ian Begley, one of the most trusted insiders in the entire Knicks universe, the front office is prioritizing a veteran backup point guard on the trade market. Not a wing, not a big, not frontline help, but a point guard. And it gets even more interesting when Begley specifically mentions Jevon Carter as a name on the Knicks' radar. Meanwhile, Tyler Kolek is quietly playing his best basketball of the season right now, and Guerschon Yabusele is firing back at the weight criticism after responding to Stephen Bondi of the New York Post. And all of this ties directly into Mike Brown's latest lineup decisions, including Mitchell Robinson moving to the bench and a starting five that just broke a Knicks record. There is so much happening at once, so let's break everything down. So here's the key line from Begley, quote, "If I'm making a guess today, I'm guessing that the Knicks look for veteran point guards on the trade market before they look for frontline help." That's already a major reveal, but he goes further. Begley confirms that the Knicks signed Malcolm Brogdon back in September with the hope that he would be their backup point guard. And after Brogdon retired, they've been forced into a plan B, which is now the point guard by committee approach that we've been seeing. Hart handles some reps, McBride handles some, sometimes Brunson stays in longer, and apparently internally that's not ideal for them. They want a dedicated, steady veteran guard behind Brunson, and that's where Jevon Carter comes in. Begley says that Sacramento will be open for business, but the name that he highlights most is Jevon Carter from the Bulls, who is a hard-nosed defender, rarely turns the ball over, had a career-high only 1.0 turnovers per game. He shot 42% from 3 in Milwaukee on real volume and is also on an expiring $6.8 million contract and has rising trade value. Chicago obviously values him, but Begley adds that the Bulls might be willing to part with him given their flexibility issues. He's literally a classic 3-and-D point guard, and salary-wise, his contract can be matched almost perfectly with Guerschon Yabusele. And that takes us right into my own official take. Let me be very clear, I respect Ian Begley, he's plugged in, so if he says this is what the Knicks are prioritizing, that's absolutely what's being discussed inside the building. But me personally, I'm not fully sold on this idea because here's the truth. Tyler Kolek has been playing better and deserves a real consistent backup point guard role. Because every time that this kid gets legitimate minutes, not garbage time, not a random stint, he shows poise, passing feel, great timing as a connector, and a real understanding of pace, as well as an ability to simply get guys into actions without overthinking it. I feel like he's exactly the kind of player who improves with reps, not sporadic one-shift appearances. And with majority of the season left to go, that's how you develop a young point guard. So while Carter is solid, I don't love the idea of shipping out a rotation-sized forward to add another short guard. And that leads us to the Yabusele chapter. What's really going on? This is where the story gets spicy. Stephen Bondi directly spoke to Guerschon Yabusele and Yabu addressed the weight criticism directly. He straight up said, quote, "If you guys check my weight from last year, it's the same. Actually less. I'm in great shape." He also admitted that the rumors from the fans were annoying, but he chose not to respond until now. Bondi in his article highlights Yabusele is not out of shape. His listed weight last year in Philly was actually 279 pounds, not the 265 random websites reported. His struggles are more about fit and rhythm than conditioning, and he's also adjusting to Mike Brown's fast-paced system. He's playing dramatically fewer minutes than last season, and he's aware that he needs to rediscover his shot, but he also emphasized, quote, "There's still a lot of the season left." And that's where I land on this. Trading a 6'8", 280-pound forward who can defend bigger bodies for another 6'1" guard feels like bad roster balance. Especially when you already have Brunson, McBride, Hart as a secondary creator, Shamet when healthy, and Kolek emerging. And bigger wings or forwards are way harder to find in the playoffs. So yes, Yabusele is currently struggling, his value is currently not high, but he still has a role that no other Knick really replicates. Now let's connect this to Mike Brown. Against Charlotte, the Knicks started Brunson, McBride, Bridges, Hart, and Cat at the 5. And that group became the first Knicks starting lineup since at least 1996 where all 5 guys scored double digits by halftime. We're watching a new identity take shape, a fast, switchable, offensive flow starting 5 with Mitch moved to the bench. And if you're wondering what will happen to the starting lineup when OG Anunoby comes back in a few weeks, I would say probably Deuce goes back to the bench and Josh Hart stays a starter. But all of this tells you that Brown is truly experimenting right now. He said that he'll keep trying different combos. He even said that he's not afraid to start a rookie if it's the right matchup. That includes Kolek, not just Diawara or Hakporti. It also means that Yabu still has time to find his place. And it means the Knicks' view of their depth chart is still evolving, which is why I personally would not rush into a must-get veteran point guard mindset. So here's the full picture. It seems that the Knicks want a steady backup point guard. They like Jevon Carter as a potential fit. Yabu is the most logical salary match for that type of deal. Kolek is improving. Yabu believes that in his conditioning and long-term value. Mike Brown is still figuring out the rotation. Mitchell Robinson's role is changing right now, and the Knicks are experimenting with identity and pace. All signs point to the Knicks making multiple moves at the deadline, but the Carter decision is not as simple as he's just a good vet. It connects to roster balance, development versus win now priorities, Brown's rotation philosophy, and whether the Knicks want to move a forward for a guard. So I think this is going to be a major storyline to cover over the next month or two, but real quick, yes, the Knicks face Giannis and the Bucks tonight in the NBA Cup at MSG, and a win would secure a home quarterfinal game. But the bigger storyline is how Brown uses his rotation. Does Kolek continue to get backup point guard minutes even after OG and Shamet come back? Does Yabu get another real shift? And do they stick with the small ball starters? Tonight will give us clues about the Knicks' long-term trade deadline priorities far more than it will impact their cup tournament path. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and sub to the channel for more Knicks news and updates you will not want to miss. It's been KNYT here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.